Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the developer chat here at Privateer Press for July 10th, 2019. I had to look this time.
Yeah. What day is it? When is it?
It's almost Gen Con is what it
It's
is.
basically.
More importantly, it's almost my birthday.
Gen Con
Actually,
is-
more closely, it's almost Alice's birthday.
When's your birthday?
The end of the month.
When's your birthday?
Not the end of the month.
When's your birthdays?
It's the middle of the month.
Mine is the 27th. Fine. Mine is the 27th.
When's your birthday?
Mine's literally the middle of the month.
Everyone, please spam these two with happy birthdays every chance you get to see them. You don't have to do it right now. It's not their birthday, but
Yeah, I have to wait till it's my birthday. Anyways, let's get off topic.
we always do. I'm Will Hungerford. I'm the lead developer at Privateer Press, and with me is Oz Schoonover, my boss, Big Papa Oz, development manager, head of development. And returning to the stream is Jeff Olson, playtest coordinator.
Yes.
Dig it.
Crushed it.
Back from Nebraska.
Yeah, I just got back from Nebraska. So I've been up since like 5 because my time is all messed up.
Dustin Von Berg says, wait, another pig? Yes, we don't have a name for him just yet, but we were tributed another pig at Lock and Load. If you're just joining us, we stream multiple times a week on Facebook and Twitch. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, always at 10 a.m. Pacific. Wednesdays is Dev Hangout, which is what you're watching now. It's a mix of talking about upcoming things for like the games, whether that's Riot Quest, Monsterpocalypse, or War Machine. Obviously, with Oblivion coming out for War Machine, we've got a lot to talk about. And then an equal mix of that, like news and nonsense. Then on Thursdays is Get Your Paint On with Jordan Lamb, where Jordan paints. This Thursday, he's painting Black Bella for Riot Quest, and I will be spoiling some of her Riot Quest rules and some of her War Machine rules.
Cough.
And then we have 2 monthly shows, Staff Showdown, where we get together and play the games we make, sort of a live battle report, and then Primecast Live, where we get the other people that aren't normally on streams to come on and talk about stuff.
I want to highlight that you said an equal mix of nonsense. There's some days
There's some days.
where there's more nonsense.
Yeah. Today's a very nonsensical day. But we've got cool things to talk about Oblivion, new theme forces. We're talking about some Legion and Protectorate stuff. But we've got a lot of news and a very special Monsterpocalypse announcement to make. So let's get to the news. Tony, we need a ticker that's like now the news.
Now in the news.
Can you make that happen?
Hey, can we have like those?
Not now, not right now, but this is a thing.
And we also need like the sound where it's like.
That would be amazing. So let's talk about Mini Crate first. So Mini Crate announcements, Midsummer Night's Dream, that is the alternate Orin, is still available until July 19th. You have 9 days left to order him. That's the main War Machine Hordes Mini Crate line. And the VIP until August 19th is still Bride of Arcadia. So if you're on the fence about one, you are running out of time.
And the Orin is shockingly topical with Infernals coming out.
Shockingly topical, shockable.
Shockable.
Wow.
I was going that direction too, so.
Yeah. So I just laid you guys up for that one.
Get your shockable Orin Midsummer Night's Dream. If you're a fan of Legend of the Five Rings, and really who isn't?
I am.
Hida Casada is
got my
the
gaming model.
current model available till August 5th, and that model is A, amazing looking, B, chunky. That is a beefy boy. And I think when we showed him off at the Lock and Load keynote, like he got the loudest cheers for the Legend of the Five Rings models by far. People were really excited about Hida. The VIP model is Shoshura Sadako. So if you get that until, I think you've got plenty of time left right now, like several months left before that one cycles back out. And then the line I'm the most excited about is the Savage Mini Crate. Dark, just started. That is the work of Robert E. Howard. If you're looking to pick up some cool Conan, Solomon Kane, King Krull, that kind of stuff. Dark Agnes is the current model, and if you get the VIP, you're going to get your King Conan on the throne. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you still have over a month to get in that order. It's not, Agnes doesn't switch out until August 12th.
Yep. A couple people on the Twitch chat are saying, is that Midwinter Orin 1 or Orin 2? That is Orin 1. So that is a replacement for good old-fashioned Orin Midwinter. The other thing I want to announce real fast, we have some cool stuff to talk about from Monsterpocalypse real fast. So we announced back at Gamma, we're going to be holding a special contest. The Crush Hour kits that you all know about, that when you run an event at your store, they have the alternate sculpt building, and that building actually rotates. The original one was the Privateer Press headquarters. The current one is the Donut Shop, which is an alternate industrial factory.
Yep.
I'm going to take this pig away from us so I can make this announcement without piggy sounds in the background. Good job.
Piggy sounds.
We're going to let someone's store become the next building. So the way we're going to do this, we're having a contest that is going to get announced today via social media. All the rules and everything are going to be up on our Twitter, on our Instagram, on our Facebook. Everything a store needs to enter. It's going to start on Monday. And I think it's going to run for I think a couple weeks, but all the details will be in the announcements. The way it's going to work is stores will be able to enter, and the winning store, we're going to turn their store into the next building. The way we're going to do this is if the store's physical location makes a good model, we're literally going to make a miniature of their store. If it doesn't, let's say they're inside a strip mall or inside a mall or whatever, what we'll do is we'll take the store's name and we'll create something based off that. So like say the store is called like Dragon's Lair, but it's inside of a gigantic mall. So what we'll do is we'll make a store that looks like a Dragon's Lair and has references to them and their location. So check all the social media feeds today and let your store owners know. If you are a store owner, pay attention for more details because your store could be immortalized and then destroyed by giant kaiju. How do you feel
So
about
this is where I say, hey, that contest starts on my birthday.
Whoa!
I was saving it for a natural segue, not just to be like, where's my birthday? So there you go.
See, everything you just did just then is what we call not a natural segue. Especially when you explain that it was a natural segue.
See, totally.
So, cool. Let's get into the news today. So, let's do a super fast recap for anybody who's just joining us. Oblivion, new box set, pre-releasing at Gen Con, in stores in September, has a new campaign system, has all kinds of rules and fluff and art and background about the Infernals, the arrival of the Archons, the Order of Illumination. Comes with a remixed rules digest that has several major revisions like the removal of hills, the removal of Warbeast packs, a few other things, and comes with the Theme Force revision, where all Theme Forces are being completely redone. Most are keeping their same army composition and or just gaining a few things. A couple of them did lose a couple options, but we'll talk about those later. But the way the Theme Forces are approached is changing, mainly in the use of the requisition options. Instead of a benefit where you must spend X points on a specific type of unit or solo to get a free model, now based on the size of the army you have, you get to choose so many options from the requisition menu that just add free options to your list, opening up list building by a ton.
Yeah, you no longer have to care about the specific points values of what you're putting in to hit some sort of gates.
Yes.
It's just army size determines free models.
With Oblivion, we're also putting out a dynamic update. One, not like the only dynamic update. There's several things we wanted to change in the game that we've had time to test. There are several other things in the game we want to change that we are still testing. And I do want to make that clear to everybody. When they see Oblivion drop, there's going to be a balance update that's going to touch on many different factions. There's going to be points drops, a few rules changes. But if you look at it and you go, why didn't this thing change? This is something that I really feel should have changed. There's a lot of feedback that it should have changed, but it's not in here. Does Privateer Press not paying attention? We are. We just may not have come to the right conclusion or had enough testing time on that thing. So,
Yeah.
I can't think of any specific examples I want to give right now, but there's a few things that will be coming later down the line. So don't feel disheartened if you don't see some change you really, really expected to be in there. Let's start with Protectorate. Tony, bring it on up.
Crushed it.
So we're going over Guardians of the Temple today. Jeff, do you want to do the honors? Or would you like me?
I mean, you got the book in front of you. I left my book at home. I'm going to be on a podcast tonight to spoil some other stuff, so I took it home in preparation.
I'm very glad we have you back.
Yeah.
Mainly for the shirt, by the way.
I get a lot of comments about the shirt in chat. Everyone's talking about how dark and gothic you guys are.
Yeah.
But I'm so bright and colorful.
This is a gray shirt.
I'm just wearing a black shirt.
It's very neutral.
Guardians of the Temple. So this is the Flame Guard theme force.
Yes.
It's kept everything it had before, but you'll notice that it picked up Blood of Martyrs
Yes, and
Eye
Eye
of
of
Truth as new options.
And that is a common theme you will see through the Theme Force revision, which is every character something has a home now.
Yes.
Every character something.
Every character, Warbeast or Warjack,
Yeah.
Has a home.
99% of all of them have a home.
Is there one that doesn't?
99%
Okay,
of them.
I believe you.
has a home. You'll see that the special rules for this, the special benefits for this, are basically what they were before. Unit of Daughters gains ambush, and all of your Flame Guard have the tough no knockdown while they're in base to base. The main thing that I think is really interesting for this theme force is while it's picked up a couple new Jack options, which are nice, again, the removal of having to spend so many points on just Flame Guard units and being able to spend on anything you want but still get those requisition options does really open up your theme and your list building. And let's go through those requisition options super fast. So you can get a command attachment for free, Protectorate.
Yeah.
You can get 2 free Reclaimer Gatekeepers as a single choice. You can get 2 Vassals as a single choice, or you can get 1 other smaller medium-based solo. So a question that's come up from a couple people that we wanted to bring this one up to also clarify is the ones that say you get 2 of a certain solo, and say that solo is FA3. How does that work? So with requisition options, when you choose that option, it adds those models to your army free of cost, but it doesn't break FA restrictions. So for something that's FA3, but there's a requisition choice that says you get 2 of it, that means you can only choose that requisition option once.
Yeah.
You would choose it once, you'd get 2 added in, and if you went to choose it again, it would be illegal. So in situations like this where it says 1 other smaller medium-based Protectorate solo, that means you cannot use that option to choose Reclaimer Gatekeepers or Vassals because they're explicitly specified in the previous ones. So you basically can never take 1 free Reclaimer Gatekeeper as a requisition option. You're either taking 2 or none or just paying points for them.
Oh yeah, if you want that 3rd or 4th or 5th or whatever, well not 4th or 5th, but 3rd, then you just pay points for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple questions about how it works and just wanted to clarify that. With this, we do want to talk about 2 of the balance changes you're going to see for Protectorate. One involving a Jack that you might see in this list, and one that's actually a Jack that's not in this list at all, but we still wanted to bring up because I think he's really relevant to Theme Forces. First off, the Judicator. Obviously, Judicator's been performing very, very well. We've been paying attention. We decided to make a slight change, a slight anti-buff to the Judicator.
That's what we're calling those, right? Anti-buffs?
Anti-buffs. There's buffs and anti-buffs.
Unbuffs?
And I want everyone to understand this is a very, very slight anti-buff to the Judicator, and then we're going to continue to monitor it. We are increasing its point cost by 1.
It's 35.
It's going up to 35 points. That is all we're doing to it.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to keep an eye on it. We're going to raise its point value because we did sort of a review of all the Colossals and where they all were.
Yeah.
And some other ones that have dropped in value with the dynamic update and realized that 35 is where we wanted this one to be. We'll keep watching it. The other thing I want to talk about is the Avatar of Minoth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got it on my little note thing. I want to say it.
Go for it.
We are anti-buffing the Avatar. He was originally at 20 points, if I recall correctly off the top of my head, and we have reduced his point cost by 2, by Dwa.
Yep.
So he's now 18.
Yep.
And the Avatar's always been a really hard one to fit into the lists he could play in because often he maybe didn't add for points. There was a lot of different things that were issues with him. Now he costs less, he's 18 points, and no matter what theme force you're playing in that he's allowed in, which we're not obviously going over the other ones, but I'll tell you there's at least 2 other theme forces on the page I have open in front of me that he fits into. You can just add him and you don't have to worry about it affecting any of your
And I think
benefits.
that's going to be the thing that really impacts the Avatar's inclusion in a lot of armies. The big hurdle for the Avatar was he wasn't part of your battle group points, so he was just points you were spending, and in some of those themes in the old system, it might require inventory or whatever the case is. So he was a lot of points you were spending sort of not for free with battle group, and he wasn't counting towards things that would give you free points. So now with a slight point drop and just the fact that you can put him in there and always get your free models, probably breathes a lot of new life into the Avatar.
Yep. So that's some of the stuff going on for Protectorate. Let's talk about Legion, though, because I think Legion got some really interesting changes. Before you bring it up, Tony. Did you press the button already? Oh, Tony.
That's the live screen.
He had the look on his face like he was about to press the button.
Yeah.
So the Legion themes, we really, really took a look at what made sense. What models needed to be in what theme forces to create distinct themes for Legion, given the different types of models they have, and more importantly, to not segregate the war beast so strictly in certain themes to really open it up.
Yeah.
Because, like you're going to see in Ravens of War, which we'll be talking about in a second, the previous only beast with flight, which is now gone, it's just any war beast you want, was a real inhibitor on list creation. So there are 4 themes that exist for Legion in the Oblivion remix, just like there are now. Primal Terrors, you've got your Ogre one. Children of the Dragon, which is your Nis one. Ravens of War, which is sort of like the mutants one, grotesques, striders, succubus, and stuff like that. And then Oracles, which is the magic sorcerer based one.
Yeah.
And we made sure the models in each fit, made sense, and did cool things. So let's jump into Ravens of War. Bam. So first thing you're gonna notice.
Yeah, Raven's got a decent little bit of an overhaul
Yeah.
in terms of the theme benefits and a couple slight changes to model inclusion. And I think the big thing here that I think everyone should probably will notice is that it no longer restricts you to war beasts with flight, which
Yeah.
was the prior requirement. You could only take war beasts with flight or just light beasts.
Yeah.
Now you're just open to the whole menagerie of Legion war beasts.
Yep.
But we kept that flying theme
Yep.
in this. 'Cause we added some things that weren't in here before.
Well, so Go Lab is now just part of it. That does
Yep.
not mean he's gone from Primal Terrors, by the way. He's in both.
Yep.
We added Blighted Rotwings.
Yep.
But when you look at the theme options, these are the blighted mutants. You know, you got your grotesques, striders, you got the raptors in there, Forsaken Solos, Spell Martyrs, Succubi, Hellmouths, Blightedness, and Hellions. These are the if the Nis are the traditional military fighting force, then this is all sort of the weirdos.
Yeah. This is
This is the vanguard, the scouting
the
force.
irregulars,
Yeah.
not associated with the theme force, but the concept of the part of the fighting force that is not the professional army.
Benefit-wise, we see, again, that flight theme a little bit reinforced, and then you can get 2 free Harriers as a single requisition option. You can get a command attachment, you can get a Blightedness and Hellion, or you can get any smaller medium-based solo. I do want to point out that it's now Succubus solos have been added to the army composition. So that's not just the Succubus itself, but that's also Kralix.
Yeah.
So Kralix is one of the free solos you can get in this. And then the benefits are a little different. You get the reroll to the starting roll, but now all your lessers provide mark target. So this theme force, not only is it the mutant theme force, but because most of the mutants are your striders and things like that, this is the ranged theme force. This is the winds of death, as it were, of Legion. And it's really cool now that, again, it's been completely opened up in terms of how you build your list. If you want to just spam the Harrier Lesser option over and over and
With
over
like
again,
a billion Ravagors or something.
yeah, and just build a straight War Beast list with Ravens of War and a few support pieces, you can. Or if you want to go Strider heavy, you absolutely can, which is important because we did something to Striders in the balance update.
Yeah, so Strider Rangers, I always mess up their name, they lost CRA, if I recall correctly from my War Machine history, in the transition from Mark II to Mark III, and we have decided to give it back to them. So now Striders are getting a combined range attack back on their card.
Yep. So we realized that, like I said, they needed a little something. They weren't performing where we wanted to, and this is definitely a theme force where they can be your main unit. We looked at the other ones. The other, like Raptors, we're pretty happy with. Grotesques, we were looking at their points, but overall we're really happy with it. It was really the Raptors that stood out to us as one that we wanted to get a lot of test time in and make sure we were doing what we wanted them to do. And they're models that a lot of people have and have had since the launch of Hordes. They love those models, and we wanted to help make them, super viable. Anything else you want to add?
I think the mark target probably can't really be understated on the lessers as a really neat theme benefit. Like it enables a lot of things in the lists. Banshees, for example, the spray grotesques have a pretty low rat in general, and now this helps you deliver, or not deliver, but actually hit more reliably with and take advantage of their sprays. You can crank some ridiculous rat stats between CRAs and mark target.
I think mark target lets you build both the beast list and the infantry list. Like if you want to do what you're saying with the Banshees and the Striders and just shoot people off the table, or if you want to go nothing but like Ravagors and stuff like that, and have a few lessers like free Harriers, you have just fly up there and mark target everything for your War Beast gun line to open up on people. So Ravens is a really good example of a theme that I think you could get 3 different people build 3 very different lists within the same theme and have them all be effective. And a big part of that is that requisition option.
And that's kind of the goal of the theme remix in general, is just giving people, it felt a little formulaic, the previous system.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to create a system where you really can make the army that you feel like playing without trying to do a bunch of arithmetic.
But it also encouraged people to play certain ways. we got feedback during CIDs where people wanted models to increase by 1 point so that they would better unlock free options.
Yeah.
And we never want that to be a motivator for feedback during a CID of, I wish this model was 15 instead of 14 because it unlocks 3 points. Because that person's not looking at the value of the model on the table and how good its stats are compared to other models in the faction and choices. They're just looking at list construction. And we want to shift a lot of that focus to actually playing the game and not all the hoops you have to jump through when you're making a list.
Yep. And while we're not talking about the rules right now, because a lot of things are still being tested and shifted around, the point about lesser order war beasts gaining marked target, that is not all the war beasts you might be thinking of. The blight wasps, since war beast packs don't exist anymore, blight wasps are now lesser war beasts.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them more in detail because there's a few things we're still hammering out internally on exactly how we want them to work.
Yeah.
But we know there will be lessers for sure. So that'll be another option players will have for more marked target options.
Yeah, and that's happening to the Scarab pack too for Scorn players. There's nothing War Beast packs related. That entire column of rules is gone from the rulebook, and both those things got turned into lessers who team up like they used to.
Yeah. Cool. That's the stuff we wanted to talk about today. Before we get out of here, because we usually try and go about like 30 minutes or so. Let's see if we've got any questions from chat before I open it up to everybody. We cannot spoil anything that we did not go over today.
Yeah.
We were working with a lot of you in the community, a lot of podcasts, a lot of blogs, and we are going and doing interviews and giving spoilers out to podcasts to cover on their own. So I know like people want to know about like certain Khador things or different their favorite faction. We can't because we would be stealing it from somebody we've already promised it to. So we can only talk about the stuff we've kind of covered today.
Yeah, there was a question about troll spoilers. We have an insider coming, and Faye's going to be on a podcast talking about troll stuff.
Faye wrote an insider going over Krill Company and then is going on a podcast, I'm sorry, I don't remember which one, to cover Power of Dunia.
Yeah. And I think she's also covering Will Work for Food, I think.
Yeah, Faye's going on Crippled System to talk about Power of Dunia.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be on Line of Sight this evening. I don't know when they actually air their show, but I'll be recording with them tonight, and we're going to be talking about another theme.
Yep. I'm going to be going on Blightbringers tomorrow to talk about Children of the Dragon and talk about all the changes there, which has now become the traditional NIST theme force.
So yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming. You just kind of got to wait as it kind of gets rolled out.
Fluffy Zealot says Winter Hellmouth's getting removed. Well, so you want to take out the maw, because the tentacles keep coming back every turn. So I think the best way to get rid of one is to hit the maw with something really strong and kill it. Sometimes charge it. It really just depends on what you've got in your army is the best way to remove a Hellmouth.
Yep.
People keep asking for that Rulik. Seer Force, Steam Force, Hammer Strike.
You wrote that like
Insider.
7 months ago.
No, I haven't written it yet because it doesn't run. It's not running yet. Like we ran 2 insiders last week, and people are like, "Oh, can we have the next one?" Like, no, we're rolling the insiders out slowly.
I thought you were.
We have a schedule before Gen Con of how many insiders are coming out when. I'm writing it probably today, but that slow down.
Yeah, and
we don't want to just throw every single thing out 3 weeks before Gen Con and then not have anything to talk about the next couple of weeks.
Every faction is getting a spoiler, basically.
Yeah, whether it's on a podcast or an insider or here or whatever.
Striker 911 says, what theme does Chuck Dogwood fit into? Well, he is a Blackclad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he will fit into anything that Blackclads will fit into.
We also saw a question a little bit earlier. Someone was asking when Riot Quest is going to be hitting store shelves.
So a couple things. So Riot Quest is pre-releasing at Gen Con and then hitting store shelves later in August. So it'll be available to you next month. And there's a massive release of models starting to come after that. Newzeric on Twitch says, any word on the RPG? It would be nice to know if it is dead or not. Well, it's definitely not dead. I don't have any news to give you right now about new products coming out, but
there are people working on things.
Like IKRPG. If we have as soon as we have anything, we can say.
Yeah,
we absolutely will. But
we don't talk about unannounced products unless they're close and we're teasing them.
Yeah.
So we have nothing concrete.
I don't want you to feel ignored. I know there's a lot of questions about the RPG in chat, and I don't want y'all to think we're turning a blind eye. We see you, and just nothing to say at the moment.
Do we have a Primecast scheduled this month, Tony? Nope.
Not with Gen Con.
Okay.
No, Gen Con's
Yeah.
through our
So
schedule
if you're not familiar with Gen Con is like the biggest board gaming convention that's not in Germany, and it's a big deal, and it usually eats up a lot of people's schedules doing things.
Yeah. We're going to be in Indianapolis
Yeah.
for a week.
Nixu says, are you all generally happy about the current prevalence of defense in the game as an effective defensive tool, given the rise in accuracy across many models in both base stats and buffs?
I blacked out. What was the question?
Are we happy with the current prevalence of def in the game? Like, are we currently happy with the def stats in the game, given what he feels is a rise in accuracy?
Sure.
Okay.
The answer is yes. We're currently happy with, in general, where things are sort of measuring out, both in terms of how accurate things are, how hard they are to hit, and where armors are. Obviously, there are outliers. Those get changed a little bit. And obviously, there's things that is their goal, is to be very hard to hit, or to hit things very well, or to hit things very hard. Yeah. But in general, looking at sort of like the overall bell curve of the game, things are good.
Tobias Kibble in Facebook asks the Infernal's release date. Actually, we just released our solicitation for, I believe, through October?
Yes, the October solicitation just came out.
So I believe the actual Army box should be showing up on store shelves like July 26th or something like that. I know that there was a very slight delay on like some packaging.
We had a packaging problem, so the July release date got shipped.
So if you're hanging out at your store, you should be able to see the actual Army box basically by the end of the month, and then other things are releasing, and I believe you can go online and find our release schedule and see basically through October what is coming out so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Cool. And then somebody's asking for Crix Love. Do we know when the Crix thing is?
So it's a good question. I know that I am going to be talking about Black Industries on a podcast next week. And then I believe Lauren is authoring a Insider.
Yeah.
So probably
In the next week and a half.
soon-ish. Yes. Yeah, like we said, every faction is getting a couple spoilers. It's just a matter of when it kind of fits into the schedule.
Okay. And one of the last ones to get out of here, before we get out of here, Mark Carter says, will there be more spoilers for Warcaster Neo Mechanica at Gen Con? There will not. Really at Lock and Load at the keynote, we sort of teased it was coming, but it'll be a little bit until you see some more spoilers and more information out that, because we've got the launch of Riot Quest, all the new stuff coming up from Monsterpocalypse, and Oblivion dropping. So there's so much coming out in the next couple months. Expect for that all to happen, and then to sort of once that's passed a little bit, then we'll start talking more and more as much as we can about what's coming up next.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I got them good.
Thanks for joining, everybody. Come hang out with us tomorrow, 10 a.m. with Jordan Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
Get your paint on.
I won't be there.
We'll be painting Black Bella. We'll talk about her Riot Quest rules, and we'll talk about that sick new Privateer solo that she is that's coming out.
So you're going to talk about how she plays in both games.
Yeah, Emperor 101 is asking, Riot Quest rules spoilers for both? Yes, absolutely. So, and finally, Majura says, is Chuck Dogwood an overseer, potent, or omnipotent? He's a hobo.
Well, he's in
Is a hobotant a
in the
thing?
Riot
He's a hobotant.
Yeah.
in the Riot Quest timeline. He's the last.
He's the
druid.
He's the last druid.
Yeah, he's a
Every
hobotant.
other druid
No,
died.
hobotant
So
is perfect.
he's in charge of the circle because there's nobody else.
There's no circle.
Yeah, he bosses himself around, but he doesn't listen to himself very well.
Yeah.
He's always fighting his own authority.
Well, he listens to Woldy.
Yeah. Woldy's really in charge.
So, all right. Later, everybody. Y'all
Thank
have
you.
fun. Talk to you later. Bye.
Lightning and thunder.
I like hope.